The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, the Challenge, Fantasy Challenge. Episode 4, recap, scoring, review. We got it all going on for you. If you want to get into a draw for 20 DK dollars, there are 2 ways to do that this week. Number 1, smash the like button for the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section and power rank the 3 worst teams that are left. I'm curious to know because I got a question for Paul Shaughnessy coming up here.
Yeah.
About some of these worst teams. The other way you can get into the draw is leave a 5-star review on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, DraftKings handle, something nice about the show. Winners will be announced on Monday. Rob, who runs the scoring for this, told me, I never remember Gus. He said, people are gaga about Gus. I haven't heard word one about this guy.
He really hasn't done anything. The most important thing he's done so far is bust his lip up by being a meatball trying to jump onto that big sandbag or whatever, big boxing bag, whatever it was. And why are people gaga? I don't get it. I don't see it, but we're also we're in I'm in the MMA community and I dabble into a little bit of golf and stuff. So it's just I'm not really fully entrenched. Rob is fully entrenched in the challenge community.
But what I was telling him is that I think he might be too entrenched in this, that he's hearing it from 6 people.
He's in an echo chamber.
And he just assumes it's everybody.
He's in the echo chamber of people being oh, watch out for Gus. It's just those are the people who are talking about Julien Etulin in
golf.
I don't know why I said it like he's French.
That's how I say it too. He's from Argentina, but it looks like a French name.
He should be French.
Let's
the jury's still out. You know what? He's French.
He's French. Yeah,
he's French to me. Damn it.
The PGA Tour app has his flag screwed up next to his name.
People going on about Kramer Hickok, and there's a bunch of guys I always see pop up, and it happens in MMA too. It's just certain guys that get way too much credit just because they're cult heroes, but outside of that little small echo chamber, nobody on earth even talks about them.
Well, I think it happened. The most prevalent example of all of this is during the election. We're I don't know anyone who's voting for Donald Trump.
Not a single soul.
And then, how did he win? I didn't know anyone. Yeah, it's maybe talk to some other people.
Yeah. Don't take all of your polls from New York Metropolitan and LA. There's a whole country in between those two places, and a lot of them voted for Trump.
Yeah, or just talk to people from not on Twitter in your specific Twitter circle or your Reddit board.
Twitter is very, very, very lefty.
Shocking
for the most part.
Well, you got to think there's a lot of journalists on there.
Yeah,
and most journalists lean incredibly left.
I guess
it's an incredibly left profession.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find.
You definitely
that
can.
Right wing on Twitter. I see it pop up every once in a while from people. I'm just oh my god.
I would think you run in MMA circles a lot. I would think that leans slightly right more than any other sport.
Yeah, you
football maybe too.
You see some people who are that guy's really nice to me. Oh my god, that is not something you should post on Twitter. Good thing that it's not your real name on Twitter, sir.
So the challenge community, I think, just enjoys the challenge. So that's what I want to get into here. Let's recap the scoring from episode 4. Number 1. The guy that I don't have on my team that I'm starting to come around on a little bit. You called Pauly a free square.
Free square Pauly.
The pricing was too good to pass up, and I passed it up. Just because I don't like the guy. But I'm starting to come around to, not necessarily him, because I just like him as a character now. Because all I want to do is see Kyle beat the crap out of him.
Drama! He's great.
It's a lot of...
He's excellent. He's an excellent reality TV star.
He really is.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is, you can really like him. Do you like him?
No, but... I'm very indifferent. I don't know. I have him on my team, so I like when he's getting into it. But it's just I think if me and Pauly were hanging out outside, I have a feeling that we wouldn't get along all that well.
Oh, see,
that's the sense I get.
I go the other way with it. I don't like him on the show because I actively root against him and Kara now.
Yeah.
And I'm rooting for Kyle and like everyone who goes up against him. But I think in real life, the Pauly and I would get along.
Maybe.
He seems like the sort of hothead that I would enjoy.
Maybe. I don't know. I think like Kyle seems like a lot more fun.
He does. He seems
if you go out on a night on the town with Kyle, like it's gonna be fun. Pauly, like the jury, I don't know. The jury's still out. He may be, I don't know.
Well,
just something about his face.
Something about his face.
I don't.
Well, Paulie was the highest scoring guy, highest scoring player from episode 4. He comes in at 131 points. Kyle, not far behind.
Nope.
126 points. Georgia, 73. Underrated Georgia.
Georgia has got my respect now. Like that girl is a gamer.
Hunter at 59. Then we have Kara at 51. Nani and Turbo both come in at 43 fantasy points. The problem with my team right now is I still have all 6 people left, which is great. Just they don't do anything.
Yeah.
They like Turbo wins competitions, and that is the end of what Turbo does.
Yeah.
And it makes really bizarre speeches. Even TJ is like, get to the point, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Who are you picking, man?
let's go here.
Yeah, he seems very honorable.
So I have
Turbo.
I have 3 big takeaways from this episode. And one, I don't know if it's an editing thing, but I really didn't like it, was when they started picking people to go into elimination. Kyle picked JP and Natalie. And Natalie could have been talking about something completely different. I don't know. It's just the way it was spliced together.
Yeah.
But she called Kyle a bully for picking her.
I-
Now, here's the thing. If that's actually what she was talking about, like you got picked for elimination, Kyle's a bully for picking on me because I'm small, and like it's a fucking game show for one thing. And if you're gonna be the type of person that treats yourself like a victim like that, I'm not gonna believe a fucking word you say.
I agree.
About when it comes to people like harassing you and shit like that, because apparently no matter what happens, it's bullying. Like I'm so not for it's like the very like homeless person version of like there's the thing that happened with the guy from Empire who set up a hate crime against himself, which all it does is make people not believe legitimate hate crimes.
Yep.
This thing, if you're gonna call someone a bully for nothing, for voting you into an elimination on a game show, that if there's actual bullying going on, no one's gonna fucking believe you.
Yeah.
It's just a terrible precedent to set.
Like my old standard of like making notes for myself used to be sig packs.
Yeah, back of a cigarette pack.
We're into the future now. I just send myself texts.
That is shockingly smart.
Yeah, send myself texts, and one of my main, like, I only have like 4 points on this, to be perfectly honest. Like, it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. But
It was
like,
good.
The real takeaway, one is, the quote is, you pick on the smallest player, you're a bully. It's just like, one, Kyle doesn't even have to compete against you specifically.
Yeah, compete against your partner who's bigger than he is.
That's just good strategy.
But it was smart strategy.
And
to get
knowing
Matt-
that you don't see, like they said it when they walked in, it's just like, if you don't see anything there, it's just like, then it's like a gauntlet. Like it's physical. Like there wasn't anything. There was just a sand pit. You know that people are going to be going after each other and getting on top of each other. You got like the biggest girl in the house by seemingly
a wide margin.
And yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Paul,
If there's no apparatus set up, you're going hand-to-hand combat with something.
JP and Natalie were an easy pick there. Easy pickings. Don't make yourself a victim.
I don't like it.
Get out of here, Natalie.
And also, of course, Kyle was going to pick Natalie, who's friends with Paulie and Kara. Like,
yeah, it all
Shocker.
makes sense. Like it's like weak team, and that is allies with my biggest enemy. It's just like he was just like, oh, all right. Like when they had that little like side confessional or whatever, and Kyle's just like, oh, I can't put Kara in there because I love her. Like that was bullshit. He just didn't want to go against that team because he's like, that could be a bad match. I don't want to go against Theo, and I don't want Maddie to have to go against Kara because maybe Maddie wins in that type of situation, but Kara's still super, super strong, like she's really ripped. Like she's a strong girl for her size specifically. Like, come on, Kyle. Like we're on to you. Like this has nothing to do with the fact that like you'd be happy to send her packing, but like you know that's real ballsy to call her in. Like that's good strategy on his hand, but like don't you know.
You can twist it any way you want. I have a feeling this whole like Paulie, Kara, Kyle situation is more fabricated
Could be
than it is actually real. It's getting them a ton of screen time, so why not?
Yep.
So
they'll be getting invited back next year.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
It all works out because even Kyle said at one point, it's like, well, if you vote for me, it's like I'll come after you next season. It's like,
that was to Georgia.
yeah. I like that. He's really game planning ahead here. He's setting up good rivalries, and Paulie's
Well, yeah, no, that's a great one for him. It's like Georgia's been the surprise, like kind of just came out of nowhere, and then you see her every challenge. She's a gamer. She's in it. So it's like he's going, maybe I should start building a rivalry with her. So when we have guys, girls, rivals type of teams, like Georgia would be a very good teammate to just end up on.
Absolutely. So I'm willing to give Natalie the benefit of the doubt that what she was talking about wasn't directly related to what was going on. Because you know how they do this stuff.
Of course.
We're both editors. We know how this stuff works.
Like, it could have been like her and like somebody else getting in a fight. Like when Kyle and all those people were getting fights.
You splice the audio
and like
on
Maddie
underneath.
maybe got in her face or something. They decided not to use it there, but use that. You go after the smallest person, you're a bully. That would be a little bit more justified, you know?
Agreed. But whatever, if she's actually talking about for elimination, like, fuck off.
Yeah, you deserve to go home.
So it's a good strategy on Kyle's part, along with Maddie, to take on JP and Natalie. I mean, JP's, I don't know if he's good or bad, to tell you the truth, but the size advantage for Maddie over Natalie is a distinct advantage.
Yep.
What makes little to no sense is JP picking CT and his partner.
I disagree.
The pick is that bear guy.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Like, that's the smart move.
If the move is you're JP and you're a big dude, and like Kyle's big, but JP's probably a bit bigger, why not go after the smallest guy? Use the same strategy that Kyle just used to pick your team and flip it around so you have an easy guy to go against. Like like CT is probably the only guy in the house except for that Ashley dude who's bigger than he is.
Honestly, though, CT looked like shit the whole season. Like
He did.
Like I mentioned it last episode. And maybe you were like making notice of it. Just like when he was wearing a shirt and he's wearing like baggy shirts, like so his gut was there.
So you're
like
saying
he looked in terrible shape. Like if you're gonna go after CT, this was the year to go after him because like even after he said at the end, he's just like I'm gonna come back and like I bet you CT is gonna be a maniac next season.
I hope so. When he got when JP said CT, they just cut to CT. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I was like, all right, that's a CT that I want to see. Yeah. I'm not disputing that CT is not necessarily an easy target, but a much easier target than he had been. But he wasn't the easiest target on the board.
Yeah, no, Bear Bear seems like a layup right now.
I don't know if it's a layup, but if you know, like you mentioned, you don't see an apparatus in this pit. You know it's going to be a physical competition. Kyle, you're slightly bigger than. But why not give yourself... It's not like Devon is awesome.
Yeah, Bear and Devon are the layup team right now. But like, and people seem to be keeping the layup team around.
Yeah, but there's no point of keeping the layup team around if you're going to go home. You have to take on the layup team.
Of course. It makes
no sense.
I agree.
Very poor strategy from
Bear
JP.
was not going into that pit and coming out with any rings.
Well, I feel CT should have won. But Kyle ended up with the. I think.
How did he even end up with both of the rings?
Because JP only focused on CT.
Because he wanted
CT was fighting both of them, and Kyle was just like, "I'm just gonna sneak around this way and grab one." Like he grabbed the one from JP immediately. Mm-hmm. JP didn't even seem to care.
No.
So that's
JP was just in it to try to beat CT and have his moment.
Yeah. Well, I guess it worked and it didn't work. CT did go home, and so did he.
Yeah.
I had another point from this episode too, and I completely spaced on what it was. Feel bad about it. I worry about Theo and Kari if Theo's that afraid of heights. Because he should have, like, based on the way he finally did that, I really liked the mission this week. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. But based on how quickly he did it, once he did it, like, he could have done it in 5 seconds.
100%. Yeah, no, he should have been absolutely killing it. Ninja Natalie made it look just too easy. But she kind of took too much time. She could have done it so fast. If she but they had to set the bar. They were the first people to go, so it was kind of a tough situation. But
I remember what it was. Tour de force performance here. 37 fantasy points for Amanda. I don't quite understand what her whole I think she just gets upset for the screen time, but she's losing it at Hunter during the tribunal. Yeah. And then when she walks out, she's like, "Yeah, well, I'm friends with a millionaire." Yeah. Well, A, you're not because of taxes. Yeah. That's one part. And also, I'm friends with millionaires. I'm not a millionaire. It doesn't do me any good.
And B, Ashley's probably spent 80% of that money already, if you know Ashley.
I don't know about that. She's going to cheaper destinations. I follow her on Instagram. She's in Guatemala. She's in Central America right now.
She's being wise.
Yeah, save your money. Although she seems to be shacked up in Vegas too, which is a pricey place to go. But still, that's so ludicrous. But Amanda, they showed her in the background later on during the costume party. Could have used more time with the costume party, by the way. It used to be my favorite part of some of the old ones. Look great. Yep. Super smoky.
Yeah, the
cat
costume.
Looking top
she's in the background as Kyle was grilling Georgia, trying to get Georgia to swing her vote. And yeah, that was what I was drawn to too. I was just hardly even paying attention. I'm like, Amanda. I'm good.
Yeah,
you
but-
should just wear the cat costume everywhere.
Yeah, and when she's not like
People would probably like you more.
well, just stop screaming for a second. And
Yeah.
Just like stand around and like be all right. People be on board with Amanda, I think.
She gets points. You know what? Like that.
She's a good
that
fantasy.
team gets
if
points
she's-
every team
Well, what
or
the-
every time.
Josh started freaking out in the tribunal as well.
Yep, that was one of my other
He
notes.
called Hunter super vain.
Bro, you're so vain. Like, and then you go. And
But
then,
you didn't say it with as much of a lisp as Josh has. Bro, you're so vain.
This is like the most. They're so hateable.
They really
They're
are.
really. It's really hard to like either side of this team. Like, Amanda at least. Amanda at least like there's like maybe it's like part of a gimmick or whatever, and like yeah, getting mad like it creates tension. Tension keeps her around on this show, gives her more opportunities to
She'll be invited back.
win. Exactly. It's like Josh is like, I just can't get on board with you, man. Like, one, you don't seem like a good competitor. Two, you just seem like a total meathead. Three, I don't really see any sort of value that you're adding to this program right now.
I don't even think he feels like a total meathead. He feels like someone who wants to be a meathead.
Yeah.
He doesn't reach meatheads like CT's a meathead.
Yeah.
Josh like really would love
Like
to
Nelson's
be
a meathead.
Yeah, Corey.
Corey's a meathead.
Yeah. Josh isn't. He's just more of a knob.
He just sucks. Yeah, there's nothing. No, he's
But
not.
I do like that they're there. Because I do like having someone to root against.
Yeah, and they're going to be there for a bit. I think they're still going to be there for a bit. There's kind of still a layup team too, I think.
It's hard to say. I think it really depends on what the competition is that day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if it's physical, Amanda's so small. She is feisty.
she is feisty. Although she went back to it again. She was getting mad at Hunter by saying, "You know, this money's not just for me; it's for my family." Like, nah, everyone needs the fucking money. That's why you're on the show.
Yeah,
like
no-
get over that.
Your family needing the money is not superseding anybody else's families needing said
or
money.
just want of the money.
Yeah.
But that's why you're here to get the monies.
Like,
Although, except for JP,
is she
who just wanted to
implying?
be CT.
Is she implying that Hunter doesn't have a family?
He mentioned that last year that Ashley was taking money away from his sister and his mother and all this stuff. Turns out they all have families that could all use the money.
Shocking.
I know.
Josh
I
even probably has
didn't
a
think-
family.
I don't know about that. He just might have been created. In a
He's
test-
probably disowned at this
I
point.
think that he was just created in a test tube to be a hateable reality TV character.
All right, so let's like think about like male characters that we really have just not even disliked, but just can't get on board. Like Dario, what was
I was gonna say-
Dario's brother's
I was
name?
just gonna say Dario.
Dario, at least like he grew on me a bit. What was his brother's name? Because that guy was useless.
I don't know.
Exactly. We don't know. I feel as though 2 seasons from now, we're not going to remember who Josh is either.
He won Big Brother though, so I think that they'll have him back.
They shouldn't. What's he done for this show? He sucks.
He tries to create drama. Over
Sounds
and
like
over.
people and like anybody who watches Big Brother is like reached out to you and said that like no,
He's-
Josh
he-
was awful. on
he's a
Big Brother.
jabroni.
That everyone hates him.
Don't ever feel bad for Josh is basically the comment that I get from everyone who watches Big
So-
Brother.
I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. He's $100 though. Like he was $100 in the fantasy challenge here, and it's just like he's already kind of
Paid
gotten
off.
close to pay. But the thing is, a lot of the top price people, like Kara hasn't really done shit. Like I know she got 51 this episode. That's by far her best performance so far. Like a lot of the 200s, so is Johnny Bananas, CT. It's like a lot of the expensive people, even Wes. Like he's been there,
He's just
but
not
he
doing
hasn't
anything.
really done anything, which is good for him long term. But I mean, like a lot of the people who are 200, the expensive people that if you had taken Josh, they're not really performing anyways. So
We didn't get much from the Brits.
no, that's because it's the British invasion right now. You can see it.
Yeah, so we didn't
The
get
British, like I don't really know what their alliance is, but
Are
like,
they just all together?
it seems like that.
It just seems like that bear guy, he gets screen time. He seems like he's a good reality TV character.
Yeah.
He just seems like he's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a character for sure. He finally got some screen time this episode.
He's
and I was
hooking up
just
with
like,
Georgia.
Yeah. And he's just a little bit zany, I guess, is the only way I can say it.
Yeah, I don't know how good of a competitor he's going to be.
No, he's not. He's gonna be awful, but
Did he
maybe
who's his-
as long he's with Dave Vaughn, so it's like they may be able to just like grease their way through, especially like with any sort of British type of alliance going on. Like that's you know, he may be able to skate by and get pretty deep in this game based on the fact that everyone just wants to keep him around for the finals.
So you see the mission. You show up. Polly and Ninja Natalie do it first, do it pretty well. Obviously, Natalie is good at this stuff. This is sort of a tailor-made mission for her. But the rest of the time that you go around, you have the guy jump, don't you? Like, with the Bear and Devon thing, like, why is Bear on top and Devon, who's like, doesn't... I don't get that.
It's just them being a bad team.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
She's terrified of heights. Great. Let's put her up on top so she has to, like, jump. She has to jump in the middle of... Yeah, it didn't make any sense whatsoever.
It's very poor strategy going on.
Yeah.
And, like, Leroy and his partner don't get any screen time.
No, they don't seem very good either. Like, Leroy may be okay. I have a feeling that she is, like... literal garbage at this game.
It's bad because
she comes from the Canadian Bachelor.
I say we're Canadian. She's Canadian. You know, that usually leads to us rooting for one of these people. But no,
I don't even have a feeling about her, to be honest. Like, her name's Shailene, and that's about the extent that I know about her at this point.
So Turbo and Nani. Oh, that was the other thing that I wanted to bring up. Why is Nani voting in CT? I don't get that. Like, shouldn't they, like, she was talking about, like, we have alliances with, like, the Brits. Like, how do they have alliances with the Brits, for one thing? I don't even know who Turbo's alliance is. I think it was just that JP guy. Yeah, where everyone's, like, too afraid of him because he might strangle them in their sleep or something. Yeah. He seems like a black ops type guy.
The Turkish Chuck Norris?
But yeah, I like that. That was a good line. But other than that, like, why get rid of the people who aren't going to throw you in? I don't understand.
Nani's obviously with Wes. I just don't know. Yeah,
but Wes is with CT.
That whole British thing it's really tough to tell where people are standing. One thing for Kara is, like, that whole game, like, the way that played out went completely against her. Luckily, she has a British teammate. She's got to get in with those Brits before it's too late, because Kara and Theo are in trouble right now.
I still think Theo's such a good competitor.
Because Kyle is not. Kyle is the relic now.
But is Kyle in with the Brits too? Like, I don't get it.
Maybe. Who is Kyle in with?
I don't know. No, Zach, kind of. And Zach.
No, but he was voting against. He was cheering against Zach. Zach doesn't trust him.
Yeah, but no one can trust Zach. But he's also cheering for Bananas, who's like his buddy.
Yeah,
that's a tough spot to be in.
Fair enough.
So I don't know. Nani and Turbo look good though. I don't know how good of a competitor Nani is, but Turbo looks pretty legit.
Dude, when he was doing, like, those, like, moonsaults and, like, flips and kicks, I was just like, oh shit. Like, do that. Yeah, now he actually seems like way more. Like, just me seeing him do that, I was just like, all right, Beast or Turbo? The question is a lot different now, because I don't know how well Beast would do in, like, a long distance running type of thing with all that extra muscle.
Maybe.
On him. Turbo looks like he can probably do everything and do it really well.
He's sort of like the bigger version of Wes right now in terms of competition. He's like more athletic Wes. Yep. Better shape Wes, bigger than Wes, but he's like slim. I bet he's an awesome swimmer. Yeah. If it ever comes down to that, although I don't know how much swimming that they're going to be doing in Namibia. There might be some water around. I don't know. It's on the coast.
They'd have to bring like a pool in or something.
Maybe they could go to the coast, but then you're swimming in the ocean. I don't know if they have like the insurance for that.
No, the move seems to be every single time they're just in the middle of the desert.
I like it. So the three teams that end up getting into the tribunal, Hunter and Georgia, Polly and Ninja Natalie, who are probably going to be there every single week, and Turbo and Nani. Josh and Amanda are going in every time. That only makes sense because they have no alliances in the house. Yeah. So just throw them in. They're sort of like a burn vote. Every time that Polly's in, Kyle's going to be in. So we're losing the back end. Like I guess Zach is the next one up.
If Polly wins this week, you can't even put them in.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like that, winning that relic is a big, big game changer for everything.
Especially when it's a double elimination.
Like, I don't know, who do they vote for? I bet you, I guess, if you think that Zach and Kyle are in an alliance together, you'd go after Zach and Zahida.
I would think that the next two teams that would be up on the chopping block, if like Polly gets in or like that sort of power gets in, you got Zach and Zahida, Jenna and Gus. Everyone's most popular player, Gus.
Which obviously they're with Zach and Zahida, I don't really know what else he's doing.
I will say, my wife loves Gus.
Of course he looks like he's from like a 1990s like boy band. He's got that blonde like dyed like with the
he's got teeth coming out of his lip. Poor Jenna was disgusted by
He's got
it.
like the roots and stuff. Like, yeah, he looks like JT, like circa 1989.
1999. I think JT in 1989 was like 4.
Fair.
NSYNC was like late 90s.
True.
Ish. I don't know how old Justin Timberlake is. I assume he's like my age.
He's probably a little bit older than us.
35, 36.
Because I think with like when they were like getting popular, we were probably in like high school or something.
No, it was before that.
But like they were probably like 19, 20 when we were. I bet you he's closer to 40 than you think.
I'm going to look this up.
Look it up. JT, I'm going to say he is 41 years old, which sounds old, but he just looks good. He looks good for the age.
Oh, of course, he's going to look great.
Maybe 39. 39.
You're going 39?
Backtracking. 39 years old.
He is 38
All right,
years
that's
old.
close.
1981 birthday.
I should work at one of those carnivals.
Well, you went over.
Where you
by Price is Right standards, you would have lost all your money, pal.
I went back to 39.
Yeah, and it was at 38.
Usually you get a
No,
year.
you don't.
You get a year either way.
Everyone knows it's Price is Right rules always. You have to be under and go up. Yeah, that's how it
When's
works.
the last time you went to one of those carnival guys where they either guess your weight, guess your age, or I think there's usually a third thing that they do.
Considering that things like you're talking about may not have existed since 1963,
Dude,
I've never been to one.
The CNE has that
They
guy
have a guess
every
the weight guy?
They have a
That
guess the weight
sounds
guy every single
in
year.
2019, that sounds very
Well,
problematic.
you can go up there and make them guess one of them. Like you get to choose which one they guess for you.
How old do you think TJ
So if you're really conscious about your weight, you don't go up there and be like, "Hey, guess how fat I am."
Yes, but I can just see that being a thing. Like,
But even if they're wrong, if they completely overblow it, they guess wrong, then you feel good about yourself because you're much lighter.
Yeah, but let's say you go in, you're like a $170,
Yeah.
and they're like, guess the weight. It's like, I don't know, 210,
Yeah.
and they're way off. You're like,
Then you win the prize. You walk off with a big teddy bear.
You don't get the big teddy bear just for winning that.
No, you have to probably win like
You have to win
multiple.
like 18 in a row in order to get that.
Yes.
How old do you think TJ Lavin is?
43.
So you went over by 1 tune. You get the boom, 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 boom.
I'm pretty good at.
It's not pretty good. You're going over. You're gonna have to make all your money by spinning the fucking wheel.
I'm doing. I think within 1 year is pretty good. I have a good eye for these things.
It's not bad. CT's 40.
Yeah, makes sense. He looks.
He's
He's honestly like he looks. We've been saying it the whole season. A lot of these older guys, like Wes, is the one that everything in the game is kind of working towards. Like he seems like his time away from the game has probably helped him in terms of having the energy to be in there.
It's also made him far more stable.
Mm-hmm. The rest of these guys are the old guys. It's a new generation. You can kind of feel it this season. And CT looked like shit the whole season. Like everything about it, every single time I saw him camera, I'm like, this is not going to end well for CT. This is not CT's season.
He's just there to pick up checks at this point. I think him and Bananas just basically showed up for the appearance fee and just took off. Because even Bananas' decision made no sense to vote in Zach.
And like CT got a real dud character. I don't know how bad, what was her name?
Julia?
No, Julia was really bad, but Bananas' character.
Morgan?
Morgan. I don't know how bad she was. But like
they're making a ton of videos.
CT legit got like a dud of a.
Oh, really?
I don't think we'll ever see Julia again.
I don't know about that. She had sweet smoker voice though.
Did she?
It sounded like she smoked 8 packs a day.
She probably does.
And she probably makes her notes on the back of cig packs like you do.
I mean, I put it on my phone.
If they can't have phones in the house.
It's 21st century.
So she's sitting around. The Brits like smoking.
Of course.
It's one thing I've noticed. You can just catch Brits smoking in the background the entire time. It's great.
Probably not Kane though.
Who knows?
Maybe.
We didn't get any of him this episode.
Which is probably good.
It's go. I mean, everyone I guess we never got.
Not being in the episode is good for you.
Generally, but we got none of Natalie and JP all season, and they're gone now.
It's true.
Natalie
was always around. JP and Turbo. It's tough though. It's like they probably have tons of side confessionals.
You're like, we can't use these. They make no sense.
It's like this is not English, and our viewership is primarily English.
And we got no Theo whatsoever as a part of like the Kara, Kyle, Paulie situation. He's just kind of laying back in the weeds. But it does look like he has something coming up with Cam, hooking up with her. So I could use those points.
I got Dub. I've
you got both of them? I don't have
both of
Cam.
them.
I have Theo. I need those points.
Yeah. Well, I need like some coitus points all over the
Well,
place.
there's no-
Like my whole team was designed around people banging. One, Nani was supposed to she's on the prowls, but she hasn't been prowling with anything. Cara Marie and Paulie, they were talking about sex that first episode before we all drafted our team.
All talk.
No sex. Where's the sex?
All talk.
I need these points. Theo and Cam, like that is setting up nicely. Like my team has a lot of potential right now, and we're just not living up to it. I'm a little disgruntled about it.
If Maddie clearly won that elimination, just like dominated it,
Mm-hmm.
just pulling everyone around. If it's her, who do you think she wanted as her partner coming back in? It's probably still CT, isn't it?
Maybe, because you know what? She's probably and she said it to the camera a few times that like this drama with Kyle and Paulie and Kara. She's like, I'm like the fourth member, and like this has nothing to do with me. I shouldn't have to deal with it. And like every single week, she's getting targeted because she just got unlucky with a teammate. And you know, on day one after they do one little competition, she picks Kyle. She doesn't know the extent of everything.
So if we're gonna do I'm gonna give away the cash for the draw for liking the episode, the DraftKings handle, and power rank your 3 worst teams that are left. Who'd you have in your 3 worst?
Bear and Devon, Josh and Amanda, and then
Gus and Jenna.
Yeah, they're definitely in the discussion. I think those are the 3
Leroy Shailene.
chalk selections.
Leroy Shailene are probably in that mix.
Yeah,
although we have no idea how good Shailene is.
It's really only like 4 or 5 teams that you could even consider.
Can Hunter and Georgia win this? Hunter's a gamer. Every season he's been on, he's been a gamer.
Yeah, he told Johnny that too. He's just like, how many have you won since I showed up? He's all right. Johnny's done nothing.
I mean, the same thing. Amanda could say the same thing.
Yeah.
Can't win them all.
True, but Hunter's in that head. He owns real estate in Johnny Banana's head at this point.
But they don't even really seem to have a feud with one another. Like, out of all those like new guys that came in, Johnny gets into it with Devin and Corey and Nelson and him and Hunter.
And those are all his best friends.
They are, but it doesn't seem like him and Hunter have any specific beef.
Because he doesn't want to mess with Hunter.
You probably don't want to mess with Hunter. He has a lot of really bad tattoos. When you see someone with that many bad tattoos, it's all like beefed up and probably on steroids, you probably want to stay away from them. Nelson just seems like a really nice guy who gets a bit too drunk from time to time. Yeah. Corey's just like an idiot.
Yeah, he's a lovable idiot.
And Bananas could probably, although I saw some recent pictures of Devin. It looks like he's getting into legitimate challenge shape these days.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, Devin and Bananas. There's the actual beef.
That is an actual beef, but like I don't like it. Like I don't mind Devin. I like Bananas. He's fine, whatever. But like their beef on the show is just really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like,
it's too personal.
Like the Kyle and Paulie beef is sort of fun because it's kind of ridiculous.
And it's like, yeah.
Kyle had the best line of the episode, by the way.
What's
When
that?
they were fighting, it was something that appeared near the bottom. You couldn't really make out what he was saying. But he just looks at Paulie and goes, I can't unfuck her. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. It's really weird. Like, it seems like Kyle has been able to move on. And like, Paulie even was just like, he's like, Kara really likes it when I get all worked. Like, yeah, the little side.
That's why I think it's a work. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think any of them care about this.
It's just like, she really likes it when I get all worked up and go after people and stuff. And then he's going after Kyle. But
Paulie better.
it's almost like it's either A, they're fully obsessed with Kyle, and it's kind of weird.
They just want him in a threesome.
Maybe. They want to hate fuck him.
Paulie better watch out. I mean, he could probably beat Kyle in like one of those rings. I think that'd be a toss-up, although Kyle has the size on him. Paulie seems like he's be pretty good at it. But he has to watch out in one of these eliminations that like if Kane ends up in, he's not like Paulie. He'll just destroy him.
Yeah.
He's twice the size of the dude.
Paulie's in great shape.
But he just legit doesn't have the size.
No, exactly. He's probably like 5'8".
Yeah.
Tops.
He looks, like I said, like Bananas is sort of... I thought that the difference between Bananas in size and Paulie in size was completely different, but maybe it's not. Because Bananas is a lot smaller than most of these dudes are. But like, I don't know, Paulie is probably slightly bigger than me, like built-wise, but he's probably an inch or two shorter than me.
Maybe.
He's probably like 5'7". Maybe he's 5'8".
He's not very tall.
Yeah, so you get in that, and Bananas like 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". He probably weighs like 20 more pounds than me. But like, I know a bunch of guys that are like jacked up like that Kane dude, and they would just kill me.
Of course.
And, like, they're not even in particularly like great like shape. They're just huge and strong.
Again,
Nothing you can do.
You know who you're not calling into that ring challenge? Kane.
I think that
Kane would have just ripped. He would have ripped people's arms off.
I thought that CT was going to do the same thing and just rip people's arms off. But
He's too
Kyle,
soft.
But Kyle and JP are big dudes too.
Yeah. And like CT literally came into this season the worst shape of any season.
I don't think that Paulie, like, just even going up against all the guys, if it turns out to be one of these competitions, like, maybe he could beat Theo, but Theo, again, he's an Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be a lot stronger than I think the people think. And he's like,
and
he's like 6'5".
Paulie's smart though. He's gonna need like puzzles or something like that, and he's gonna lean on Ninja.
Ninja's gonna win.
Ninja's live against anybody, even Maddie. Just like Ninja, when they were playing the rings, like she would have been doing like full out flips and stuff, and just the force would have just pulled the rings out.
Yeah, I would say that in any one-on-one competition, Ninja's the favorite of any girl against anybody.
Yeah.
Maddie's probably second.
Yeah, probably.
And then it's probably Kara?
I guess so. Yeah, Kara's definitely in the
Kara
mix.
or Georgia, I guess. But like when you think about who he can go up against, like Paulie in a physical competition, he might be able to beat Kyle.
May be able to beat Wes.
Maybe, just because Wes is an old man now.
Exactly.
But I still think that like Wes is bigger than he is.
Oh, he's definitely bigger, but
he could probably
Paulie's in better shape.
He could probably beat Josh. He could probably beat Josh and Bear. I don't think he's got a chance against Turbo.
No.
Turbo might be able to beat that Kane guy. I'd say that's like physicality wise, because I don't think.
I hope we see it before the end of the year.
That would be awesome.
These are questions I need answered going into next season.
And like the two big wrenches in all of this, like if Paulie ends up in a physical competition with like Leroy, like that's tough for him. Leroy's huge.
Yeah.
Like Zach's still big.
For sure, but at least if you have guy and girl, it's like Shailene legit looks awful at everything that
she does,
so
but
far.
they don't seem to be team competitions in these eliminations. It's just girls versus girls, guys versus guys.
So then you get a stalemate when Shailene loses to everyone.
But what if you flip the coin and it's guys all of a sudden? Then you're fucked.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the challenge?
Not really, no.
Good week. It was this is the best episode of the season.
Oh yeah. Like all the fights, like this is what we're in it for. And you see it in the fantasy scoring is you get some actual people scoring points, which is good. We need more of this. More fights. We've been talking about it the whole year. It's just like the British people just bring the fun. Like reaching out, bringing in all these Euros and stuff. It's changed the game because it was getting a little dull 4 or 5 seasons ago when there was the only people bringing in were Dario and Rufio or whatever his brother's name was. I forget his name. When you add in these British people, there's just a whole different dynamic. The Are You the One? There's a few people like Amanda has at least became some sort of interesting character, like because you're kind of like watching to hate her. But for the most part, the Are You the One people have been were straight trash. Yeah, these British people like they like to party, they like to fight. Like,
well, the biggest
difference, the type of reality TV I'm tuning in for.
The biggest difference between the British people and like the people that you get from Big Brother and all that, these British people have no shame. They just don't care, and that's perfect for reality TV. Like the Big Brother people all just seem to want to start drama at all times, but that's it. That's all they want to do, and then like back away from it. These British people seem like they want to get in your face and fucking fight you. I'm in on that.
I love it.
That's what I want from the challenge.
Except for Kane. Kane doesn't seem
far too calm. He has to have a boiling point at some
because if Kane
spot in the season.
Kane could have probably just broke up all of those fights just by standing there.
Well, Gus was trying to break up the fights. He was trying to be a good guy.
Yeah.
It was busted up.
Maybe that's why people
an internet celebrity, apparently.
Internet celebrity, yeah.
I don't get it.
I haven't seen anybody talk about Gus.
It's funny because that's exactly what I told Rob, and then he was like, talk to Paul. Paul will know. I'm like, I don't think he will. Honestly, I'm telling you, it's like 3 people talking to him, being like, oh, Gus is so legit.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Maybe he is legit. I don't know. He hasn't done anything.
I haven't seen a single soul talk about Gus.
I wish.
And he fucked up his big opportunity this week. Like, things were actually not going that poorly. He should have been able to do it. And, like, he
missed time to jump.
He jumped so early.
Yeah, well,
or so late. I'm not sure.
He jumped super early. He jumped when it was still swinging back up at him. You want to jump right when it hits the top. Before or right when it hits the top so you can get it going back and you could theoretically swing around to the other side, come back once, and then jump. That would be the move. Or just be like Theo and go like a pendulum.
Not feeling the Gus love.
Yeah, he seems fine. He seems like a nice enough dude.
I don't dislike him.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything special yet. Prove me wrong, Gus.
Prove me wrong. Nothing else?
Nothing.
I really want to try out that pendulum thing. Out of all the missions so far this season, that's one that I would want to try. Seems like a lot of fun.
For sure. No, it looks like...
Some of them look like a ton of fun.
It looks like it would be pretty tough, though. Like,
oh, it looks super hard, but it looks like something fun that you would want to attempt.
Like some of them made it look a lot easier than I think it is.
As long as you didn't bust up your face on it, I think it would be relatively fun. Or Shailene jumped into it and like broke her chest.
I don't know why you're not wearing like a hockey mask. That's something that like they should have thought about.
Yeah, but you need to see the faces. This is a problem that people get into in sports all the time. Why are basketball players so much more marketable and more well-known than every other sport? Because you see their faces at all times.
Yeah.
You know what they look like.
Baseball, too.
Yeah, but no one watches baseball anymore.
Oh. They make the bucks.
They make the bucks for playing the game. Basketball players make the bucks for everything that's unrelated to the game. And they make the bucks for playing the game.
Yeah. Or it's like, Conor McGregor. Why is he so marketable? Why does he make so much money?
Very recognizable, that Conor McGregor.
Exactly.
But like football players get screwed.
Hockey players too.
Yeah, but it's not like they're doing a ton of marketing anyway.
No, but I just mean, having a mask does definitely hurt your marketability. Yeah, but I think that's like one of those things is they run tests and stuff before they get people to do it, obviously, so that they don't die.
You think TJ does them?
I don't think so.
He's a BMX biker. I don't think he'd be
that guy's broke his back. He's had like
he was in a coma.
He's had like 3 bacchiotomies at this point.
Doctor says I need a bacchiotomy.
Exactly. I think that's one of those things that like when it happened, the people who like run those tests are just like, oh fuck.
We didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, thank God we got you to sign that dotted line there, Gus, about not suing.
I think they own the lives of these people for being on the show. You would have to.
Yeah. You get paid this appearance fee, you get paid this based on this, and it's just like, and you, whether you break a bone, like, unless it's like their cord snapped, then they would have to probably pay them. And they would do these things like hush hush behind the scenes.
Well, the reason that Camilla can't be on the show is because she's uninsurable. Because I think they would have her back just for being a crazy person.
Why is she uninsurable?
Because she's like drinking too much and like fighting with producers and like being dangerous.
Yeah.
You can't be a dangerous person and put yourself into these situations. But I think that if something were to happen, that would be insurance money that would cover it all. Not necessarily like suing MTV or Bill Murray or whoever it might be. I don't know. Let's hope it never comes to that.
Let's hope. Yeah, because it's like all it would take is one of these bungee cords snapping.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would do.
Yeah.
They'd probably just have to shut down production completely, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I
remember when Zach was almost dead, and then he tweeted.
He's like, yeah, I'm not dead. Don't worry,
guys. I'm not dead. For all the people worried about me being dead, you'll see me next episode.
Well, I was surprised. Even watching the Oscars last week, they had Michael Keegan Key come down from the ceiling like Owen Hart style. It's like I thought we'd like put a kibosh on that after the Owen Hart thing. But guess not. I guess it's back, coming down from the rafters.
Yeah. I trust. Actually, do I trust? I was thinking, I was going to be like, do I trust WWE that does this type of crazy shit all the time?
Yeah.
I would trust them actually more than the Oscars, who.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
Although you have the best of movie stunt people doing stuff. So
yeah, true.
But the WWE does do it all the time. So who knows? It's like these challenge people. They're always rigging it up. I would have to think that if you ever became a mechanical engineer, that working on the challenge would be one of the most fun jobs you could have. Like making the actual things. That would have to be a great use of your brother's an engineer, right? Mm-hmm. See, that would be a fun use of being.
He does like oil pumps, though.
See, that seems less fun than designing stuff for the challenges.
Considerably less fun.
I have a couple of friends that are engineers, and they all work in like Alberta on oil refineries, making sure that there's more efficiency and getting the oil out of the ground. They're like, yeah, like it pays well. We like doing the engineering. Not the most fun job in the world.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, of course. If you're into building
angles in building.
This would be super fun. They fly you all over the world, different crazy places, and you're just creating like, how can I make some sort of device?
Yeah, it seems super fun.
For absolute, Yeah.
Paul Shag. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Paul Shag. That's PaulShag.
For the illiterates out there?
For the illiterates out there. And you can follow or watch my weekly, pretty much weekly, UFC cards every single week, it seems right now, weekly MMA show right here on the Pat Mayo Experience. Subscribe to the podcast, do all that stuff. I'm sure Pat's going to fill you in on the rest.
Yes, you can follow me on the Twitter machines, the Instagrams, and the Facebooks, for all the olds out there who put the S's on everything, at the PMETHE, PME for the illiterates among us. You can also subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, wherever you can download podcasts, you can find the Pat Mayo Experience free on-demand audio versions almost every single day of the week. We got all the topics for the people. So if you don't like the challenge, I don't know what the fuck you're doing listening to it at this point, 45 minutes into the show, but we got golf, we got football, MMA, baseball, Oscars, entertainment. There's a show for you out there. Just remember to download all the episodes and then delete them right away if you don't want to listen, because that helps me out a lot. If you want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, you can leave a review on iTunes, 5 stars, something nice, DK handle, or smash the like button. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section of this video and power rank your 3 worst teams remaining on this season of the challenge. I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!